my name is Sheila SL Reads, and this is my very extensive biannual bibliothon vlog. I've never done this before. I thought Emma Reed's posting about this because she is one of the people who is in charge of it, and it just looked pretty fun. And I mean, it is like the second week of school, so I could die while doing this. And I've already read a bunch of books this month, so I could die for that reason also. But I'm just gonna go for it. So I'm only doing the reading challenges, not the video challenges. The first reading challenge is read the group book, which is Otherworld by Jason Segel and Kristen Miller. I got the ebook of that, and so I will be reading that. I originally wasn't going to, and then it was like really cheap on Amazon, and I was like, well, I guess I'll just do it. The second prompt is read a sequel, and this kind of fits. I was kind of just like finding all the books that I needed to read or like wanted to read right now and seeing how they fit into this list. And so for read a sequel, I picked Murder on the Orient Express by Agatha Christie, which I really have to finish. Like, I have been reading this for way too long and I should just get through it. And it is technically a sequel because it's like the 7th book in the series about this investigator. This was on my TBR for January, and so I really want to finish it, and it just fits, so I picked this one. The next prompt is read a book you've never heard of before, and I picked Shane by Jack Schaefer. This is a book that has been on my TBR because I was talking to my dad about westerns, and he was like, oh, this is the western that you have to read, because there is a different reading challenge that I'm trying to do this year, and one of the prompts for that was read a western. And I'm also using this one for prompts 6 and 7. Number 6 is read a book under 200 pages, and this one is like 130 something, I believe. And number 7 is read a backlist title, which I just now learned means a book that was not published this year. And so pretty much everything is a backlist title right now because it's the beginning of 2018, so not that many books have come out. For number 4, which is a book about mental illness, I picked Eliza and Her Monsters by Francesca Zappia. I don't know what kind of mental illness is in this book. I feel like it's anxiety. I'm not really positive about that. I do know that Emma Books, who I mentioned is one of the hosts for this, she has a lot of recommendations for mental health books, and this is one of the ones that is on her shelf and her list of recommended reads. It looks fun, it looks interesting. I really just want to read it, and I like the style of it. It seems to have some instant messaging in it, as well as parts of the comic that she draws, which is like the plot of the story. And for the 5th prompt, which is the final one since I'm using Shane for like everything, it is read a book that was mentioned in another book, movie, show, etc. And so for that, I'm kind of cheating, I guess, with this, and I'm just picking Shakespeare because I'm in a Shakespeare class, and I'm currently reading Richard III, which I realize is not the most well-known Shakespeare play, but I also might be reading Much Ado About Nothing next week as well. I'm trying to finish this one by Monday, and I'm like halfway through roughly, and this one I believe I will have to read at the end of next week, and so maybe altogether I'll get one full Shakespeare play in there. It is still Friday night and the Bibliothon has not started yet. I will definitely be updating you every single day, a few times a day possibly, so this video might get quite long, so I apologize for that. Feel free to put it on like double speed or something, because that's what I would do. So I will see you in the next update. Bye! Hello everybody! It is now Saturday the 20th, and so the Bibliothon has begun. I have not read that much today so far because I stayed up until 3:30 this morning binging Mulan and Mulan 2, and I mean, I don't regret that decision, but I haven't read that much. But the book that I decided to start this morning was Eliza and Her Monsters by Francesca Zappia. I don't read a lot of webcomics, but the ones I do, I feel like I would like to see a book like this about them. Like, it's cool to see like the process behind. Obviously, I haven't gotten that far into the process or really into anything, but I am just really enjoying it, and so I hope that I'm just gonna get through this really fast. It seems like it's going to be an easy read, and that's kind of why I picked it, and it's just something I wanted to read for a bit. I checked one of Emma Books' videos where this is mentioned, and it turns out it is about anxiety, like I thought, and so I haven't really seen that much about it. It seems like she's just a very introverted person at this point, but I'm sure it's going to get more into that. I've heard that it is a good representation of anxiety, and so I'm looking forward to finishing it. So, it is Sunday the 21st, and it is currently like 11 o'clock, and last night I was able to finish all of Eliza and Her Monsters. I didn't really like it at first, but I really got to the point where I did like it by the end. It was a really fast read, and I did really enjoy it overall. It definitely got more into her anxiety. I thought it was going to be something that was like very prominent for the entire book, but it is after like a certain event that it really like takes hold of her life, and I feel like that is definitely a good way to represent it. Like sometimes it is something that is just something you're always dealing with, it sometimes it's just brought out by certain events. And one thing that was amazing about this in terms of that representation was that it did show her going to therapy. It's such a common thing nowadays, like people are trying to take hold of their mental health and they want to be happy and to be better, and that's what Eliza does in this book. I gave it 4 stars on Goodreads, and I'll be writing a more in-depth review of it. There were a few things that made me a bit uncomfortable or that I just didn't really like about this story, but I don't really want to go into that here because they are kind of spoilery, so if you do want to see that, then I would say you could just read my review. Today the main book that I want to get to is Richard III by Shakespeare, and that is because I have a quiz on this tomorrow and I have to finish it before the quiz and before we start talking about it in class, and I'm still like halfway through. I read some of this yesterday, but not that much. Sometimes you just have to like think about it a little bit more because it is Shakespeare and it's not like the same language as Eliza and Her Monsters or as even something from the past century. It is like very different, but it's still a very good play. This is definitely one of the ones that is better read aloud. So if you were gonna read Richard III, I would say just like go in a room by yourself and just like read it out loud, because I don't know, it just seems to work better that way. My professor said that, and I was also noticing that because that's the way I'm getting through it, is just by like either mouthing the words or just like saying it out loud. Currently like 3:30. I read for a few hours there. I got a little distracted because I became a patron on Patreon, so I could read like extra panels of this webcomic I really like. It's called Heartstopper. You should definitely read it. And so I just read that instead of reading the books that I'm supposed to be reading for this bibliothon. But I did finish Richard III by Shakespeare. I give this 3 stars. It was not bad, but it wasn't particularly good either. It's the last of Shakespeare's histories, which are like the not comedies, not tragedies, just like about some long ago kings of England, and I think it's like the War of the Roses, if I'm not wrong, but I'm not really sure about that. But Richard is like almost like comically bad. Like he just like kills people for no reason. Like he'll like be allied with this person for the entire play and then just turn on them right at the last minute, and then like the guy's dead and he has his head, and it's just too much to deal with sometimes. He killed like a lot of people. They brought it up a lot. They were talking about like how many people he was killing and how it was kind of excessive. I'm definitely looking forward to reading some other stuff. I feel like I might read Otherworld, which I have as an ebook. It's the book that everyone is supposed to read for this bibliothon, and I don't really know anything about it besides that it's like sci-fi, and some people have compared it to Ready Player One, which I also haven't read, but I want to, so hopefully that's good, and there's less murder than in Richard III. So it is just after midnight. I just want to do a quick update before I finish editing this video and then go to bed because I have school in the morning. And so I've been reading Otherworld and I'm hating it. The main character is very creepy. He stalks someone online and off a lot with the excuse that like he cares about her so much and he knows something is going on, and it's like there is nothing that excuses that level of stalking. It's so creepy. And then he mansplains 2 girls about slut shaming and then blackmails one of them with naked pictures of her that he got from hacking into her boyfriend's phone. That's just wrong on so many levels, and I'm just really not liking it. I'm probably going to pick up a different book for my TBR instead to just read until I'm ready to get back into this one. I am gonna finish it for this. I hope more of the novel is like the first chapter, which was amazing, and it set me up thinking that it was going to be so great, even though there were a few creepy moments even than that. It involves a virtual reality game called Otherworld. As somebody who likes playing video games, it was really cool to see, and I thought that was going to be what the entire book was. Unfortunately, it's not. And so I don't really know when I'm going to pick up, but yeah, I will see you in the next update. Bye! Monday evening. I have not done that much reading today since I gave up on reading Otherworld for the time being. I started reading Shane and I'm like 12% into it, but like a good 6% of that was the introduction, which I skipped. I didn't realize it was the introduction at first. I thought it was a prologue, and then it started talking about the author and I was like, well, that's not necessary for me to read. But I only read a little bit of it because I had 5 classes today and then I had work, and so now I'm just here chilling out. We're going to a basketball game later. Not that I know anything about basketball, so I don't know how that's gonna go. We're probably gonna lose. I don't even know what our standing is or anything. So that's fun. I just got something pretty exciting in the mail though. Thought it was gonna be textbooks, because this was supposed to come last week, and every single time I go and get my mail, it's just something else in there, and it's not this book, but it is Zenith by Sasha Osberg and Lindsay Cummings. I have been looking forward to this for a while. Somehow I left it out of my most anticipated reads video, but like I read the original like ebook when they were like serializing it, and then they actually got like a publishing deal, so I'm really looking forward to reading this. I got the UK edition because I like paperbacks and it was cheaper. I can't read it for a little bit because I do have to finish this readathon, and then I have a few other things to read, so I guess I'll pick it up at some point, but I'm really excited about this. Besides the basketball game, I probably have some homework to do. Not sure what. I only have 1 class tomorrow, but then I have like 4 hours of work. I finished editing the video that's going out this week. I just have to do like a final watch through and then do like whatever edits I have to do and then export it and then put it on YouTube. So that'll be up sometime this week. And then I'm gonna watch some booktube videos. I currently have Emma Books video up right now. I hopefully will read a little bit more tonight, but if not, I'll probably read some tomorrow morning and get back on track with this readathon, because I've read an entire book and then like parts of the other ones, but I feel like I'm kind of like falling behind. Like it's kind of stressing me out, but I believe in myself, so yeah. Since I last updated. It is currently Friday night, and Friday is the last day of this bibliothon, but I'm not completely finished with the books that I'm reading. I did finish Otherworld, which was absolutely awful. I am probably going to film a video review for it, which I don't really do. The first video that I ever made on BookTube was pretty much a rant review of Lord of Shadows, and so I'm thinking of trying to do a review for this. It probably will be like partially spoiler free and then get into some like spoilery things that really irritated me. So we'll see how that goes. It's probably going to be up in a few weeks if I do end up making one. But yeah, I gave it a 1 star, which I've never given anything. Even This Side of Paradise by F. Scott Fitzgerald, which I hated, I gave 3 stars because I did think that there were like some phrases in it that were good, and like there were some parts of it that were like not completely awful, surprisingly, somehow. I'm almost done with Murder on the Orient Express. It is actually getting good now, and we're actually getting to the part where like you're finding out who it is, and it's really not who I was expecting it to be. I don't really know who I thought it was going to be, but like I was not expecting it to go in this direction. I'm glad that we're getting to see it inside of Poirot's mind, because that has been my biggest issue with it, is that it's not an omniscient third person, so you don't know what's going on, and he kind of keeps everything to himself, but you're kind of past all like the gathering of the evidence, and now it's like going over the evidence and confronting the murderers, so it's pretty exciting, and I'm almost done with it, so I'm probably gonna finish that tonight. I'm like 43% through Shane. That does count for 3 of the prompts for this bibliothon, and so I think that I might just continue this until I finish. Like, I might continue it on until Saturday, just because I am liking Shane. It's kind of hard to go through it because I don't really know what to expect from a Western, but besides that, I am enjoying it, and so I'm probably going to finish this tonight and then do a bunch of homework, because I do have stuff that's due at midnight tonight. My roommate and I have a friend who is coming to visit us this weekend, so I will try and finish Shane tomorrow sometime. I feel like I can get through 60% of it. Like, it's a short book. I only have like, I think like 90 pages left, and that's not that much. Like, I read really fast, so this is really confusing why it's taking me so long. So, it has been a few days. I did not finish all the books that I wanted to by the end of the readathon, but like I said, that's fine, because I just like continued it on until today. It is currently Monday, so I was planning on finishing all the books by Saturday, and that didn't work. And then I was like, Sunday works, and no, it didn't. So I finally finished everything though, so that works out. I think it all went very well. So I'm just gonna do a little overview of all the books that I read. So the first one that I finished was Eliza and Her Monsters. I loved this. This was really fun and fantastic. I really like the relationship in this, and I'm going to be writing a review for all of these, and I will link them down below. They'll be there at some point. I haven't written any of them yet, so I guess we'll just have to wait and see when that happens. The second book that I finished was Richard III by William Shakespeare. This was also pretty fun. I love Shakespeare, so I was just having a great time. This is for my class. And apparently this is one of the longer plays, which makes no sense because it's like, it's so small. The next book that I finished was Otherworld, which I hated. The next book that I finished was Murder on the Orient Express by Agatha Christie. I was having so much trouble finishing this book because it was just so boring. And then we finally got to the interesting part and the end was awful. I was like, this is the dumbest thing ever. I'm not gonna say what the ending was in case you want to see the movie or read this book, but like, I'm just disappointed. Part of me wants to go see the movie, but I'm also like, what's even the point? Like, it was seriously like the dumbest ending. Like, who actually committed this murder? I was like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? And then the final book that I finished was Shane, and it was such a ride. I did not know really what to expect from a Western since I've never read one before, and it got really interesting. Like, again, it was kind of slow because I was like, I don't really know what's gonna happen, but I ended up really liking it, and especially all like the fight scenes, the end, they were so classic. Like, it was just like gunslingers and like saloons, and I was really enjoying it. I thought it was so much fun. And so I just finished that one today, and it was a great way to end this readathon, even though it is a bit delayed, but I'm glad that I got to the end of it anyways instead of just giving up. So I hope you liked this video. If you participated in the biannual bibliothon, please link me to any of your videos down below and I will definitely go watch them, because I didn't participate in any of like the video challenges. I just like wanted to vlog it and read because I thought that reading was already going to be a bit much for me. And it kind of was, apparently. But I watched some of the video challenges and they looked really fun. But anyways, thank you so much for watching. If you watched to the end of this, I'm so grateful because I know this video is probably going to be really long by the time I finish editing it. And if you liked this video, feel free to give it a thumbs up and subscribe since I put out videos every week. Thank you so much for watching and I'll see you next time. Bye!